After releasing a teaser video last week, it's time to reveal. I'm sure you saw the title of this video. This is a Red Sea Reefer 250. So it's a 54-gallon display and an 11-gallon sump. It's 35.5 inches, so 3 foot long, about 20 inches from front to back, and about 21 inches tall. So I did a lot of research when it come to buying this tank. I originally was going to go with a 120 or even a 150, but after doing a lot of reading, watching a lot of YouTube videos, it's something that I'm simply not looking to take on at the moment. I have one small kid at the moment, and we're going to have another little baby soon. So I didn't want to overwhelm myself with a system that I could not keep up with, that I just didn't have the, once again, the time to keep up with it. Maintaining equipment, doing large water changes, heaven forbid a serious problem happen in the tank, and then I'm trying to resolve that. So after doing a lot of research, the one mandatory requirement for my wife was the fact that the stand has got to be white. So it was actually a toss-up. It was going to either be the Red Sea Reefer 250, which you can pick up in a white cabinet, or the IM Lagoon 50, which you can also pick up in a white cabinet. Now, the IM tank is an all-in-one tank. I did miss having the sump area, so I went with the Red Sea. The quality of the tank is absolutely amazing. There's going to be, I've already got 3 videos recorded and uploaded for the series of the Red Sea Reefer. So this video is basically going to start off, and we're going to build the stand. And then once the stand's built, we'll do a video on plumbing the Reefer, and then a couple tips and tricks that are going to apply to any aquarium in general. But this will be an ongoing series until I get it set up. I've had the tank now for 2 weeks, and it is still dry. So the main objective right now is I ordered 50 pounds of more reef cleaner rock. I'm waiting for it to show up. I'm going to aquascape the tank dry this time and get it the way that it's going to be suitable for me before I even put water in the tank. Then we'll kind of go from there, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, this tank, I did a lot of research, folks. I actually looked at the SEA aquariums, and that's where I was going to pick up either a 120 or a 150. And I almost got one of the SEA aquariums. They have the ultra low iron glass rimless cubes, and then Euro braced 120s and 150s. But ultimately, this Red Sea tank is going to cost me a lot less to light, a lot less to skim, a lot less in salt. It's going to cost me a lot less in everything. But it came with the white cabinet, and this was the one requirement that my wife had, is that the fact that it had to have a white cabinet. And the Red Sea tank comes with a white cabinet. I didn't have to order a different cabinet and then paint it. I didn't have to do any modifications to it. This thing will come set up. So the Red Sea Reefer series comes with everything that you need, minus a return pump. On the day that I received the tank, I wanted to go ahead and get the stand built. That way I could figure out if there were any issues with it that I needed to contact Bulk Reef Supply. But basically, if you've ever put any furniture together, this thing is super easy to put together. You need, I used a rubber mallet, and I used a handheld Phillips head screwdriver, and that was pretty much it. I did follow the directions to the T, and you can see here, this is actually the stand on its side, and it comes with the rubber matting, or I don't know that it's rubber matting. I can't think of the technical term, but you'll set the tank on top of it, and then it's got the sump section. It's got the same type of foam or matting in it. It'll help level the tank, one, and then it'll reduce the amount of vibration that you have. This stand actually comes with the compartment to the right that it's opened up for basically a chiller. Now, I'm not going to run a chiller, but that opening there is going to allow me to run my cables and everything that I need to without having to cut any holes into the stand to get any cables or anything in it. But ultimately, this thing is it's top notch. It's built well. It came with everything needed. I did buy the tank from Bulk Reef Supply. So basically, you get the stand, the tank, the sump, the auto top-off container, and the plumbing. Once you add a return pump, you can put water in this sucker and get it going. When it was said and done, it took about an hour to put the stand together. The other feature that I love about this stand is that the doors don't have any handles on them. So stay tuned for one of the upcoming videos. I'm going to show you how I locked this cabinet so that the kids can't get into it. But ultimately, the white of this stand matches the interior of our house perfectly. The corner that it's in doesn't have any direct sunlight or anything, so it really brightens up that area. Each one of the holes in the stand, it actually comes with the rubber, I don't know what you call it, but you can cover up even the holes inside the stand. So they did not spare any expense whenever the engineers and designers built this stand. It come in a number of pieces, and it is pretty heavy. I did move it into the house by myself, and that was kind of a struggle, but all in all, this thing is top notch. I haven't got it filled up with water yet, but if somebody were to ask me if I would buy this again or if I would recommend this tank, my answer would absolutely be yes. The Red Sea Reefer was actually built to give you all the equipment that you need to get started, but allow you to add the certain equipment that you would like to run your system. So in the previous Red Sea tanks, they were all in one tanks, and then comes the Reefer series, which gives you the sump, so you can add any skimmer that you can get into the sump section. So they've done a really good job of catering to those of us that want a turnkey system but want the ability to upgrade and change out things as needed. So this system is actually plumbed with a Herbie drain. And the ultimate requirement in the house for any of us, me and my wife combined, is that this thing has got to run silent. And if you don't know anything about a Herbie drain, it is a full siphon from the display to the sump, and this thing will run 100% dead silent. There is one negative. This is the auto top-off container. I don't know how many gallons it holds, but ultimately it's just too small. With an open top system, you're going to look at evaporation at a pretty high rate, and you're going to be filling up this container pretty often, every 2 or 3 days. So that is the only negative to this system. Now, to combat this, you can use a 5-gallon bucket in the stand. You do have some extra room where you can add a new auto top-off reservoir. So in the grand scheme of things, it's a very small negative. But this is the sump with the auto top-off container sitting on top of it. This sump does hold 2 filter socks. You can see that the auto top-off is gravity-fed with the float valve. The skimmer section's good size. The return section's good size. So all in all, I'm very happy with the setup of this sump. Please forgive me for the poor lighting. Everybody was asleep, so I didn't want to turn on any of the lights. But one thing that you can do with the auto top-off container is I've seen a lot of people drill it and put bulkheads in it and build a mini refugium out of it. So that is something I'm going to look at doing. This return pump is a return pump that I used to do water changes in my freshwater tank. I'm not going to end up using that pump. I'm going to get a DC pump and possibly build a manifold. So this is where we're at, basically. Of course, you can see that the tank's on the stand. If you watched any of my freshwater videos, there used to be a 75-gallon freshwater tank here, and the 75-gallon was a 4-foot tank, so it was scooted over quite a bit more, but there wasn't a lot of room here. So basically that's pretty close to the center. There may be a little bit more room over here, but this is going to work out perfect. We got a lot of kids' toys and whatnot around the house, so that's one of the bigger reasons, and maybe the primary reason why I went with this tank. I mentioned that earlier, but this is going to allow me to do what I want to do as far as the reef tank's concerned, but also allow the kids to have their space and whatnot. So the good thing is previously when I had the freshwater tank set up, I have a GFCI outlet over here. So unfortunately it's not directly behind the tank, so I will have to run it over. But yeah, this is it, folks. This is the Red Sea Reefer 250. It's 65 gallons of total water volume. So it's a 54-gallon display. And then of course, by the time you get rock in there and everything, you're going to lose some of that number. And then it's if it's 64 gallons, then it's a 10-gallon sump or so. So 11, 12-gallon sump, something like that. So basically, this is it, folks. This is the tank that I got. Everything from the 20 long is going to be moved over onto this tank, so I'm excited. Got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of stuff to figure out still. Stay tuned and follow this process with me.